Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin Rogers. We're here in the beautiful Frederick, Colorado at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. Today we're going to be doing one of our used units that we just got in. It was actually one of my customers' trades. So what we have here is a 2024 Forest River Sunseeker TS2370. So that's going to be on the Ford Transit chassis. We'll utilize the all-wheel drive system. It's going to be powered up front by Ford's twin turbo 3.5 liter EcoBoost motor, and it is mated to a 10-speed transmission, and again it'll have all-wheel drive. So we'll start up under the hood. So you're going to have the motor kind of easily accessible, a little tight to get to. You can go to a lot of Ford service centers, so you'll have more serviceability after the fact whenever you need work done on the engine transmission. Underneath here you'll get to see a lot of maintenance items. So the windshield washer fluid, all your different fluids, oil level, coolant, brake reservoir, all of that is very visible up here if you're one that likes to be a do-it-yourselfer. So this specific one is a full body paint motorhome. So normally the Sunseekers come with just decals and stickers on them and little gel coat fiberglass. So whenever they ordered this, it was with full body paint, and with full body paint you do get the clear bar on the high impact areas. One of the things that I like about Sunseekers, at a few dealerships ago I used to sell these new, and they are a pretty good product for the price point that they try to achieve. You'll have a molded fiberglass roof, or front cap, sorry, and a fiberglass roof up there. So on the outside of that you'll see the seams are further back on the motorhome instead of having the big U-shaped seam with the D-seal all the way around it. And what that does is it helps prevent leaks whenever you're driving down the road and that chassis tweaking back and forth. So it's just overall longevity of the exterior of the motorhome. We'll work our way down the sides of it. So you will have left and right observation cameras on a camera system mounted up above on the windshield. So they are always on. They're not designated with the blinkers or anything, so you can always just glance up at that camera whenever you're looking at the mirrors, just to verify that you're not going to squish the person with a little car owner. So with this one you're going to have an armless awning. So you'll have the Thule Regal awning, and it's going to have lights mounted to the outside of it, and it'll come out with the little pivot arms. That way you don't have those two big arms mounted down the sidewall, and it gives it a little bit cleaner of a look. There is a wind sensor in this awning, and inside the door you can actually set the setting 1 and 2, just depending on how much motion that awning takes before it starts closing up. So we'll start off just at the entry door. So we'll open it up, and there'll be a couple little things here. So got your screen door, the door mounted with a strut here. In the step well, this will be where your house battery is stored. You'll also have metal plating around the steps, as well as the little rubber covered steps there. And then in this step you're going to have your house battery. On the exterior of this one, you will have frameless windows going around it, so that'll give you a little bit cleaner aesthetic on the outside, as well as being able to leave them open whenever it's raining or snowing, anything of that nature, so you can still get the fresh air but not having to worry about water intrusion on the inside. So we'll cover all the different outside compartments. There's not a whole lot of outside stuff, but we'll go through each of it. It is only a 26-foot motorhome, so you'll get to see all that. You have a chassis mounted propane tank that's going to be used for your cooktop, as well as your Truma combi, which is going to be for continuous hot water, as well as your furnace. So next to that you're going to have outlets, and then you're going to have a cable output, as well as a 12 volt plug. Sunseekers do come with 12 volt TVs, and you'll see that one inside once we get in there. So you'll see one of your first compartments. So in this compartment, it's a gray plasticky material. This is called rotocast. So rotocast is essentially a bunch of plastic beads put in a container. It's heated and tumbled around to make this form. They'll drill these little cutouts in it. So essentially you can take if you put anything dirty in here, you can take a hose in this and just rinse out that compartment entirely, and you don't have to worry about stuff damaging it or water and moisture messing it up. All right. So next little spot's gonna be a propane hookup if you wanna have a little outdoor grill. So these next two compartments are actually tied in together. So you have the lower portion here, as well as the taller portion here. And you'll have a little service access port if you need to get anything behind that panel. And there's a little LED light mount in here. Again, this will give you a bit of clearer view of this rotocast. So very durable composite material. All your compartment doors are going to have the little slam latches on them, so they're easier to open and close than the little twist latches that you have to deal with on a lot of the smaller ones. The exhaust right here is going to be for True Macombi. Again, True Macombi, they use it on a lot of B vans and some of these transit chassis. Motorhomes, it's going to be your furnace and continuous hot water. While we're looking down the side of this side, you'll have two outdoor speakers. They are going to be JBL brand. There's indoor speakers, outdoor speakers, and then a little subwoofer mounted up above in the cabinet in the cockpit. So we'll see that once we get in there. On the rear of this unit, you're gonna see the Sunseeker logo. You're gonna see that rear observation camera, so that is always on. You don't have to be in reverse to utilize it. With this specific one, you're not going to have a towing hitch on it. So any of the Forest River Transit series, you make a little bit bigger of a motorhome just so you get more space in there. And this specific one also incorporates a little bit of a slide. So they wanted to make sure you weren't going to be overweight, and they just removed the towing hitch entirely, so you don't have the capability to tow with this one. So the passenger side of this vehicle, there's a couple of things back here. So you'll have your dump station down here. Your gray is going to be the gray handle, black is going to be the black handle, and your little sewer cap here. You'll also have the generator exhaust. So this one is equipped with a 2800 watt gasoline generator. It is mounted up in between the frame rails of the motorhome, so you don't have to access it from outside. Servicing it is if you want to take it here, Cummins, anything like that, they just take a creeper and slide underneath the motorhome, or they can put it up on a lift, whatever's going to be easier for them. All right. Next little compartment is going to be city water connections. So you'll have the fresh tank vent, city water connection, tank fill here, as well as a little outdoor shower. And then you'll also have a black tank flush. 30 amp plug. It will have a little green light here to indicate whenever you have shore power. You're gonna have another little storage compartment. This is where we just threw the power cord for now. You feel free to put anything you desire in here. Next one's gonna be another little storage compartment. Up above that, you're gonna have a vent for the back of the fridge. You'll have the bottom and the top. You'll see a lot of those whenever you have those two-way fridges. The fridge in this one is gonna be a 110 fridge as well as an LP fridge. It is equipped with a little slide topper up there. And then one final little storage compartment. So we're gonna go ahead and open the driver door just to show a couple things here, make it a little easier. So your gas fill is going to be right here. You have to open the door to actually release the little catch that's right there, or else you can't get into it. So little safety measure they do, so you don't have to worry about people putting anything in your gas tank, or the old days of siphoning gas. On the left side over here, you'll have electric mirrors. It's going to control the top portion of the mirror. You'll have your automatic headlights as well as adjusting the brightness of the dash, and then you'll have a battery button. So this is a battery boost button. It will sync the chassis battery and the house battery together. So if you ever kill one system or the other, you can jump them off, and so you don't get stranded anywhere, or if you need to get that generator going, or the chassis, vice versa. All right. So, looks like that's gonna cover it on the exterior. So we'll work our way on the inside of this motorhome and go through a couple of the cool features it has. Some of it's gonna be right in the step well, so we'll just kind of glance off into here once we get in. So in the step, you're gonna have a few important things. You'll have your house battery disconnect here. This one was equipped with a solar panel on top. So you have 190 watts of solar, It is tied into the house battery and the chassis batteries, and you can view both voltages on those just to make sure it's charged up. Your awning controls with those wind sensor settings are going to be right here. You're going to have, these are the two switches for your exterior lights. One's going to be a little porch light, and then one's going to be for the awning light. You'll have a motion sensor light, just a step light whenever you're coming in and out, and then a little vent for that Truma combi. So you'll see a bunch of those throughout the coach, and that's just to prevent or get even heating through it. One of the cool things that Forest River does is they'll actually put a lot of your fuses and stuff in this panel right next to the stepwell. So it's easy to find those fuses if you ever pop anything like that. If you want to come in, Jody. Gotta slam those ones. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to cover is going to be the control panel in these. So Forest River uses your typical control panel. If you've ever had any of their towables or their motorhomes, you would be able to recognize this. So you have all your different tank level buttons over here. We have the generator running right now just so there's some AC in it, because the sun did come out today and it is a little bit warmer. You can see your generator hours. It looks like this one has 11 hours on the generator, so barely used at that. Start and stop and then prime it is all done right here. Water pump controls as well as Arctic package. What Arctic package is on the Forest River products is they do have heating pads glued to each of your tanks. So it just helps you get a little bit more use in those colder seasons. You can go a little bit deeper into that fall or early spring when it's not super warm out yet. You'll have two of your main light switches in here, as well as some push button lights throughout and some light switches. Spread out the thing. Your main slide room control is going to be right here, and then your driver's side rear light just for your dump station is going to be located right here. So we're going to go ahead and let this slide out. So if you want to pan over and show what it looks like closed, the slide is just going to incorporate this little love seat as well as your fridge. Oh, we need to turn the engine on for it, Jody. Oh. So it is an electric slide, and one of the cool things that Forest River likes to do is some of them will require you to have the engine running to actually use the slide, and what that does is it ensures those motors are getting full voltage and you don't have to worry about those two motors getting out of sync, which is a lot of the errors and complaints that people get with electric slides. So we'll cover up here up front first. So we did the control panel. This will be the JBL radio that we saw. So you can do 2 zones, and technically with the JBL radios, each zone can have its own input. So you can figure out that, play with it, and set it up depending on how you want. So you can have inside playing something, outside playing something. And then if you wanted to tie in more speakers, there is a zone C where you could set that up. There's a little storage cabinet up above. Again, just little things, whatever you need. It does have a WineGuard gateway already installed in it, so you can put a SIM card for a couple different cellular carriers in here if you wanted to have service and Wi-Fi on this. A lot of people are doing Starlink these days, but this was kind of the predecessor to Starlink and a little bit cheaper of an option versus Starlink's monthly fees. This is the JBL subwoofer that we talked about. Overhead, you're going to have your TV. So behind the TV is going to be a little bit of storage, but you can also see the inputs behind it. And you see this nice black and red wire here. So that indicates that it's a 12-volt TV. So you don't actually have to have your generator or an inverter or anything of that nature to use this TV. And it will be a smart TV. So if you want any of those apps on there, you can watch them, especially since it already has the WineGuard gateway. Down here, we do see that they're both captain chairs. I have one of them turn around just for demonstration on the video, and then the front one we'll keep facing forward whenever we review the dash thing, so it's not beeping at us too much. All right. So first thing we'll cover in the living portion is going to be the little slide that we saw. So it does open up quite a bit of floor space. In the floor, you'll have a pedestal. Right here, I stored those in the back closet right now. You have a pedestal table that you could put there, as well as in between the beds. In this little slide, you'll have 2 large cabinets up above. You'll have a little privacy curtain that mounts to each of these little stickies. there, and that'll block this out, or you can go ahead and order those Ford privacy the windshield visors, whatever they are, up there. And my customers did give us the original owner's manuals with those, so you'll have all of that for reference if you want to go through them. Down below you'll have a little cargo net with the remotes in. Some people use that for phone storage, anything like that. Up above you'll have a USB-A and a USB-C. So a little bit of power over here. Your windows are going to have blackout roller shades. They are MCD, so if you're familiar with that brand, they are a higher brand of just roller shades and pretty common in the RV industry. These do have little foot props on them, so you'll have that for both of them. And then there is a little bit of storage underneath this. So it's very shallow, but it does give you a little bit of access, and you can see some of the wiring for the slide room and the power and stuff. Your fridge, gonna be a 5.3 cubic foot two-way fridge. So it can run off 110 and propane. That's why we saw both of those vents outside on that, just so it can breathe and keep itself cool back there. Down below, you're gonna have 2 drawers. So they do have soft close on the drawers, just a little bit nicer touch. Also helps keep things closed whenever you're driving. In the middle, you will have a pull-out privacy shade. So you unsnap it, pull it across, and then there is a white clip all the way here, so you can block it off entirely and just separate the front and the rear of the motorhome if you need to. All right. So while we're staying in this front portion, we'll go ahead and cover the kitchen. We'll start up high and work our way down low. You'll have 3 cabinets up here, so they are all connected. So if you want to put those larger baskets and larger items up here, you can kind of make it your own. Sink with a residential sprayer, again another blackout shade, wireless charging for a cell phone, and then a little stainless steel bowl sink. Countertop extension if you need a little bit more prep space. 2-burner gas cooktop. So your countertop isn't going to be like solid surface countertop that's in a lot of our higher end motorhomes. It'll be actually what's called thermofoil. Thermofoil basically gives it a rolled edge here, so you don't have that old T-molding that you did on the edge. You'd actually have to submerge the countertop in water to cause any swelling on this. Underneath this is just going to be more storage. You'll have your convection microwave here, so this will act as the oven. And then another little storage drawer down below. Let's see. While we're looking at the top of this motorhome, so Jody, if you want to pan up to the roof, it is a 13.5 BTU ducted AC, so you'll see the vents spread throughout. It does have a heat pump in it, so you'll have an additional form of heating on top of that true Macombi. And then one of the other cool factors that Forest River does a lot of the time is you'll have that single AC, but they'll also provide you with 1 or 2 max air fans. So this specific one will have 2. In these, it'll act like an attic fan. So you open it up, turn it on, set the speed to whatever air volume you need or noise level you're comfortable with. Open up the windows and get plenty of that natural airflow, especially if you're up high in the mountains or like the weather we've had the past couple days. You get a lot of that cooler weather coming in and you don't have to run the AC or hear the generator noise or anything like that. So sleeping arrangements. So you have 2 twin beds on here. On this panel behind, we'll look at those real quick before we move the bed. You'll have one of your light switches, the 2 controls for each of the twin beds. This is the true Macombi controls, so you can adjust the temperature for the furnace in here, and then your AC is going to be up above. And then you'll also have another 12-volt TV mounted back here in the bedroom. So with the bed, you can actually have it meet in the middle and make it a little bit bigger of a bed, or if y'all still like to cuddle or anything like that, you can do that. And these cushions can slide down in the edges like that to give you a little bit more room, but they don't lay flat like some of the other motorhomes you've seen do. So in the center of those, you're going to have another little hole in the floor for the pedestal, like we talked about. When we get back into the bedroom, I'll pull that pedestal table out just so we can see the size of the countertop that you get. We'll start with the storage down below, and then we'll show the upper cabinet storage. So you'll have a drawer, one drawer on this side, as well as some electrical, and then you'll have a bigger drawer here and a little bit smaller of a drawer here. Up above, you're going to have more cabinet space. Again, it's going to go all the way across. They're not separated, so they can be however you need them to be. All right. And then on the driver's side, again, replicating the same cabinets all the way across, just amplifying that storage room. I have a little cubby here for phones if you need it. You do have night lights on both sides, and in this light there is going to be a little USB-A port, so if you wanted to use charge your phone that way, you can. The bathroom's going to have a pocket door, so just a little privacy back there, especially without a swinging door. Eats up a little less space in the motorhome. So now we're going to go to the back. So even though this one is one of the smaller chassis, it does have a rectangle shower in here, so you have plenty of space to go sideways. And if you can, or if you drop anything, you can still manage to bend down and get it. So height-wise, I'm 5'10". On a good day, I'm at the skylight, maybe an inch below it, and then I have probably about 4 or 5 inches in here. So if you're a taller person, it'll be a little bit tighter of a fit, but if you're on the average side, you'll be fine in here. The shower that they use is a Nautilus film. They actually brought it in from the boat world. So it's a self-squeegeeing antimicrobial film. You close it, it just latches itself, and you don't have to worry about it. The only concern with these is if you let go and it snaps back in, it is very loud. Other than that, you're not really going to hurt it. New, I think they come with like 7-year warranties and stuff, so they do believe in their product that they have. You'll have a porcelain toilet in here, so with a foot flush. So just your normal RV toilet, whatever. If you've had some before, you're very familiar with that. Storage down below, just for your toiletries and stuff. You will have an outlet here. It is GFCI protected. And then again, same countertops and with a little sink cover in here just to give you a little bit more prep space if you need it. Medicine cabinet back here. And then you'll have your hanging wardrobe. So I'll go ahead and pull this table out just so you can reference the size of it. So this is that table that can be used up in front of the love seat or between the two beds, just depending on however you need it. And then you'll have the pull for it right here. So in here is going to be all your little hanging slots. So they have them marked so you can fit plenty of clothes up there. One of the cool things that I like about the Forest River Sunseekers is they're built like coolers. So the sidewalls and the roof are all block foam insulation. The roof's fiberglass, which is really cool, especially in this price point of a motorhome. And they just wanted to promote the longevity of the coach. Use a little bit more durable construction, but still coming in at a lower price end, especially compared to like what we sell new. Pretty much the last thing that we're going to cover is going to be the dash features on this. So it being the Ford Transit chassis, you will have some of the creature comforts up here. So that's going to ding at us. So I don't know if you guys heard the dinging or not, but the dinging is basically whenever you have the engine running and one of the seats is turning around, it's meant to be really annoying just so it's a safety feature for you guys. So on the dash, you're going to have active lane assist and adaptive cruise control. So you'll have a lot of the creature comforts, especially what's to offer in what's similar in the Mercedes. You will have all your gauges up here, fuel economy, your trip time, and then your miles till E. You'll have fuel gauges, tachometer, coolant temperature, as well as your speedometer up here. Lane assist is easy to turn on and off. It's just a push of the button on the stock with your blinkers. Headlight controls are going to be right there, or high beam controls. Windshield wipers are going to be on that right side. All of your dash controls and adaptive cruise control settings will be on the left side on the upper portion. The bottom is going to be all volume controls. The right side is going to be menu controls for here, and then push to talk settings is going to be all over on this right thumb. You do have an actual stock, and it does have a manual mode, so if you're going down the mountains and you want to downshift a little bit just to use your transmission to slow you down and not necessarily cook your brakes, you can go down to M, and the plus and minus is on the stock itself. You have lots of cup holders in the Ford. It seems like it's a very American thing for that to have. You'll have a lot of USB ports, 12-volt ports, an actual glove box, whereas a lot of the other stuff doesn't. But you'll also have cubbies up top. There is a designated little key spot to store your keys up here if you need to, or if you need to resync your key because it's been a while. There's a USB-C as well as 12-volt up here. And then you'll have the big monitor for this. So you do have CarPlay, you do have Android Auto in it. I believe on this, I don't know if this is a 23 or 24 Ford chassis, but I believe it's still wireless CarPlay. So you would just connect your phone via Bluetooth, and you'll have your Ford GPS over here and then CarPlay settings off to the right side, however you need to set that up. You do have automatic climate control, so you get a lot of the nice creature comforts that you can get a lot of these, as well as a few different driving modes based on whatever the weather conditions that you're in. Up above will be the last thing that we talk about here. It's going to be those cameras that we were talking about. So you will have it left and right side and the rear. They are always on. You don't have to use blinkers to change those, so you can just glance up at that and glance over at mirrors just to make sure you have all the coverage that you need when you're going to, make a turn or change lane positions. This one has just over 16,000 miles on it, so it's pretty much a new used. It's a 24. They used it, they took care of it, and they just wanted something different, so that's why they traded it in. But yeah, this has been a 24 Forest River Sunseeker, the TS2370. If you guys have any questions, feel free to text or call. My cell phone number is 404-936-6215, and my email is justin.rogers@transwest.com. Have a good one.